and welcome to this week's edition of My Life, FinTech Consultancy's attempt to find out what life was like during the curfew when the COVID pandemic hit the world. I have with me today Mr. Lasantha Bogoda. He is the General Manager of DMS Software Technologies. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Good afternoon, Lanka.
Appreciate your time. I can see you're at work, so I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with us today. Starting off with the obvious question, what was the COVID-19 curfew like for you? What was your biggest concern as curfew hit?
Good question, rather. Unfortunately, we are in the office today. So, however, we were not in the office during last 2.5 months. So the biggest problem was actually, so it's not an usual situation for anyone, right? So that's the biggest concern is actually because DMS, we are a old company, so we are not like very latest company who is using so many other technologies to work from home. The first challenge that we had was actually how to set up everything within like matter of 1 or 2 days, because suddenly they enforced the curfew, then it was complete lockdown. Then we had to take certain quick initiatives to get the real work going. So that was the biggest challenge, Lilanga.
Right. Now, in terms of leadership, I mean, in your position, overseeing a staff, recognizing that they have their personal challenges as well, how did you steer that? How did you come up with the strategy to help your people, your staff manage, and as well as manage the business? What was implemented?
Yeah, so we have taken a couple of steps actually. So immediately, I would say we, even before the curfew was enforced, so 1 week before that, so we knew that this kind of problem will come the moment they shut down the offices. We had to take care of a couple of things. As you very correctly mentioned, the most important asset is employees. So that's the biggest concern that we had, how to take care of them. The second, or like I would say equal important for the customers, right? We need to look after them. So a couple of quick initiatives we took it. So we got out, like we send an immediate notification to all our customers, right? Explaining the situation. So how we could basically help them out and educate them. So especially on our support, because we have so many mission critical customers, because the entire Sri Lanka, some of these extreme critical systems, which is basically bringing the money to the country, are depending on us. So we have to quickly attend to it and send them a notification saying that this is how we are going to manage during the COVID situation. We never put a timeline until this situation is going to get over. We said, so this is our hotline. This is how we are going to attend to their on-site calls, etc. So that was a quick fix that we had to do. Then we came to our employees. So I would say I was writing some email during last couple of weeks. I have sent at least 13 circulation to the entire staff. So starting, because when I go back, we have sent the first circulation in January, right? There is this kind of a pandemic which is going to come, so and educate them about that. So then we start educating them, right? Because every Sunday night or the Monday early in the morning by about 2 o'clock, because we used to work till early in the morning during this COVID time, right? So early in the mornings, I used to send an email to all staff saying that this week, what are we going to do, right? So either one thing is to address about the COVID situation, how the things are basically either improving or some of the other challenges, and how to work, right? Not only the work, actually, we started educating them on certain habits that they need to get used, actually, especially working from home. What are the things that they should follow, right? Because we do understand being at home is not that easy at all. So, right. So I was talking to a lot of my friends. So even after they get married, so this is the first time they have been with their spouses for almost 2.5 months. So it is not easy. I would say it's not in a bad way, but I would say that these are real challenges. And
Yeah.
forget about the spouse, then even with the living with the parents for this generation is not that easy. So this is what we have figured it out, because it is not a culture that we use actually. If we are obviously if you're in village or something, that's a different matter. But in this urban world, so it's a different thing. So the continuous communication and doing certain activities. So these are some of the things that we have taken on the employee point of view actually.
Right. Right. Fantastic. Sounds like you had everything covered, which was absolutely essential. So, to make sure that you didn't miss a beat, that was important. Yeah. Now, coming out of COVID, obviously, the majority of the country, they're back to work. Things are trying to get back to normal. I know that a lot of companies are experiencing a massive fall, in terms of functionality. Do you see yourselves taking a very long time to get back to normal?
Yes and no. So one thing is actually in terms of the customer's point of view, now they are getting back to the normal. But we are
Right,
taking certain precautions, Lilanga. So from the company point of view, since we
right.
have all these the technologies now, we have set it up to work from home. We
Yes,
are not encouraging to people to come to work except for the very essential set of people. Because if someone
understood.
has to come and sign a check or some other matter, so those are the
Mm,
only people who basically we are requesting them to come to office.
right.
Otherwise, we will continue this the way that we started working during last, I would say, 2.5 months ago. We will continue that style for another 1 or 2 months. So that's our approach actually.
Okay. Right, right. Let me ask you this very briefly. Last question today. Moving forward, if a second wind was to hit, some other strain decided to impact the community, do you think that we are well equipped now, that the country is ready for a second hit, recognizing what happened last time? We'll be better prepared, do you think?
I would say, in terms of that's a very dangerous thing if we get a second wave actually, because now people are again like going into the road, and we have not still seen the discipline has been properly. Basically, people follow the discipline. That is one of
Right,
the biggest concerns that we have actually. But I would say, in the organization point of view, they are taking all these measures. So the
right,
risk is high, Lanka. So
right.
I honestly, because government also can do very limit, no, so because they can't come to every damn home and start looking at what we are doing, right?
Yeah,
So it's matter of how we take care of ourselves actually, and
right,
we should have the personal discipline. And the
right.
company wise, what we can do is actually we can let people to work remotely as much as possible until the situation is going to get over. Mind you, because the problem will come the moment they open the gates to come to Sri Lanka. Still, they are very selective on that. But if the
Mm,
tourism started, so then
mm.
we need to take extra precaution for sure and keep this journey going for another at least minimum of 6 months. So this is our prediction. So by looking at all the analytics and all, minimum of 6 months we need to go on this safe, fail safe mode in a very, I would say, very. Uh, uh, it's like it's not to go into the previous lifestyle that we had it 2.5 months ago. So just be on certain discipline sort of a work, and at least for the next 6 months, Lilanga.
I agree. I agree. Well, Mr. Bogoda, thank you so much for your time. I know you have to get back to work, so I'm going to let you go. Maybe we can touch base in about 6 months and talk about the progression that has happened and the
Definitely.
positive news, if that's okay. Thank you so much for being a
Thanks,
guest on the board.
Lilanga. Thank you very much.
Take care now.
Take care.